For example, the hoe. If I ask a horse to stop, I want a horse to stop. Hoe to me is stop. Don't take another step. If you take another step, you're gonna fall off a cliff or walk into a fire, or you know what I mean? Like it has to be where there's an urgent danger to it, so that the horses know it's not when I get around and not moving my feet anymore. It's stop now. Yeah, I want my horses to. Even like shutter stop, right? Like stop on a dime to the point to where they almost can't, like a skipping stop with their front feet. That's such a big topic for me. I was in a severe accident in 1984. I had a horse fall on me when we were in a full gallop. He went around the corner, and he had wobbles that nobody disclosed. And we went around a corner, and his legs didn't hold him around the corner, and we were in a full bolt that I couldn't control. So when we got into the corner, he went down, and of course with the volume of speed that we were at, we slid. My toe was caught in the ground. I was still on the horse. My toe got caught in the ground, and my foot was turned inside out. My heel popped backwards through the front of my ankle. So the result of that injury was an eighth of an inch of my Achilles tendon was all that was left, and I was never supposed to walk again. I had a 2% chance of walking again, and if I did, I would have such a severe limp I would need a cane. I was 14, and I was a strong-willed kid who loved horses too much to be told, you're not going to have that in your life anymore. So, yeah. 18-year-old, the infection had shot up my leg, I guess the red stream. I mean, it was to where there was a reverend and, what do they call it, the last rites thing. So anyway, because of that, and because of my long recovery and my many different apparatuses on my leg, I vowed at that point that I was never going to be on another runaway ride, or at least not on a ride of a horse that I have taught anything to, because on the ground, the first thing I teach them is hoe. It's one of the very first things that they learn on the ground. There's two things that I teach horses on the ground as like on an importance level. One is hoe. Hoe means hoe. Stop on a dime. Don't take another step. Hoe means hoe. That's one. And the other is stepping on a lead rope. So teaching them not to step on lead ropes, all the things that you do in your life are life lessons, right? Things that you learn because of something that happened, usually, right? So, I had that experience, and I learned that I don't want my horses to ever not understand that you can get yourself out of that without panicking. And I also, want my horses to know that if I yell the word hoe at my horse, I don't want the yelling and the panic tone in my voice to be the first time they hear it that way. Because when you're in a panic situation and you want your horse to stop running forward, stop running backwards, stop moving at all, whatever, you're not going to go, ho, ho. You're going to go, ho, ho, right? You're going to have kind of a yell, panic sound to your voice. If you teach it with that panic sound, your horse will learn that panic sound is the cue. That panic sound with that word is the cue. They won't all of a sudden be even more freaked out in whatever's happening because you're yelling, you're panicking. So my hoe is always it's a bark sound. It's like ho, right? I want them to be kind of startled into the stop, if that makes any sense. And I was given an opportunity to prove my theory on that another time with a different horse many, many, many years later. like 23 years later, I had another runaway, a horse that started to run away. And he probably got, we were on the buckle, so he probably got, I don't know, 4 or 5 like gallop steps with me before it clicked. He knows ho. I taught him that when because he was with me to be started, so I know he knew that. And before I registered, oh wait, I'll just yell ho at him, he took the tops off of 2 little tiny decorative pine trees. But the second he heard the word ho, in that panicked, I'm being run away with voice coming from me, he stopped on a dime. Didn't take another step. I think if we teach things with the same intensity that they might need to be understood at, like I said, the panic in my voice at the time that there was something actually wrong should not have been the first time they heard the panic with that cue, in my opinion. You know, could I be wrong? I don't know. Like I said, I proved it to myself that was the right way to do it, at least with that horse. I have not experienced any other runaways since then. And I'm okay to never be on another runaway ride. They're very unpleasant. So ever since then, I've always taught horses, ho means ho. It can save your life someday.